Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Moonlit Fly Fishing. Want to welcome you tonight to Fly Tying Night, where we're going to be tying up a black X Caddis Emerging Caddis pattern developed by Craig Matthews, very similar to an Elk Hair Caddis and very effective. Tonight we're going to be tying this up in a size 14 using the Moonlit Tagada premium barbless hook. In the ML102, we're using a size 14. Tie this pattern in a size 12, 14, and 16. Black caddis are generally a little bit smaller caddis than others. With that, I want to make sure and invite you to like the video, leave us a comment in the comment section. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive future notification. This helps us get this content out to more people and shows the algorithms that we're putting out valuable content, and we appreciate your support a great deal. With that, I started my thread there just about 2 eye lengths behind the eye of the hook. And I'm just going to lay a nice good foundation of thread back here to the bend of the hook, where I'm going to take some iron blue poly yarn. The original pattern calls for Zlon. I tie a lot with the poly yarn, and I want this to be just a little bit shorter than the shank of the hook. I've separated this out so that I don't have quite as full shuck as a full thing of poly yarn. I'll just go ahead and trim that out where I started my thread. And that's just going to allow me to get a nice clean body as I wrap and trap and lock those in. So we'll wrap all the way up there to the top of that tie-in starting point. Now I'm just going to wrap rearward back to the tail here. So I get back here, I'm going to kind of pull that tail up just a little bit. I want a couple wraps of thread back behind it. Helps lay that shuck nice and straight out the back. For the body on this, I'm using Magpie's wild barred turkey Biot in a dark gray. Black caddis are a black and gray bug. So I get a good body with this. And I'm going to tie this in at the tip here on the back side. And when I tie this, I tie it with the ridge of that Biot down. Now I'm just going to create a nice taper to this body with my thread, forward and backwards. Caddis patterns generally are a little bit bulkier flies, so I want to make sure I build up some bulk in this pattern versus a slimmer mayfly pattern. This pattern's going to ride nice and low in the surface film, giving it that nice emerging insect with that shuck coming out the back end. Very effective pattern. And here we are, we're just building up a nice good taper. You don't have to do it as much as I do, but I like a little bit bigger taper. I am using Semperfli's Classic Wax 12/0 just because it helps create a nice good underbody, nice and smooth. I'm going to half hitch this right here now, and at the very end of that taper I want it to be nice and level so that when I wrap that Biot, it's going to have a nice clean point for it to stay nice and clean and not slip. I'm going to wrap this Biot with the ridge facing rearward. We're going to create some nice tight wraps with that biot and that ridge, you can see how it's creating that nice body profile. I'll wrap that all the way up, where I'll take and secure that off. Now I'm just going to trim that out. Or I'll take and bind down that biot there. I want to create a nice good thread base for my hair to grip onto. I'm going to take some X Caddis deer hair. This is a medium dyed dun, and I don't need a very big clump. I just want a small clump of hair. So you can see there's my clump to start out with. That's probably a little bit more than I really want, but I usually thin it out because I'm just going to preen this under fur right here. Just clean it out, get any loose fibers. Take it, put it in my hair stacker. Give that hair stacker a good couple taps. Pull it out. You can see I'm going to get some of these other fibers. I'm not pinching too tight, but tight enough that I'm not pulling all those fibers out. You can see my tips are pretty aligned there. So I'm going to take and I'm going to measure this wing to go back to the bend of the hook. And here at this, just about 2 eye lengths behind the beat or the eye of the hook, I'm gonna give 2 wraps that are nice and loose, and then I'm gonna kind of cinch that down. I'm gonna pull and wrap 1 there just to lock things in place. Now I'm just gonna pull fibers and interlock going forward. And that's just going to help secure that hair. All right, now let's finish this up with a nice whip finish here. So I'm going to take my whip finish tool, and we're just going to whip finish this right here at the eye of the hook. We'll do 2 of them just for good measure. Snip out that thread. Now we're going to take and trim the head of this fly. I'm going to kind of pull those fibers forward. We'll just trim those out. That one, pull those out just a little bit. And there you've got a nice little black X Caddis dry fly emerger pattern here. It's going to ride nice and low in the surface film and create a lot of good aggressive strikes during your caddis hatch. Again, we'd like to thank you for watching our video tonight. Please make sure and like the video, leave us a comment, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive future notification, and hopefully you enjoyed this video tonight as much as we did, and we appreciate your support in helping us get this information and content out there, and hope you have a great evening. Good night.